Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. So it's the due day, Nigerian Super Eagles versus Libya, and it's a game that actually promises to be very interesting. Of course, uh, it's a must-win game for Nigeria, but also I'm sure Libyan side are going to be thinking that it's a game that they have to win as well. But their coach has said earlier on that if they get a draw, that it's a welcome development for them. But I'm sure that deep down they are going to want to uh, get the maximum point to at least record their first victory in this qualifiers round. They've actually played two games, lost one, drawn one, and are sitting, uh, fourth in the table right now in the Group D. While Nigeria are actually sitting in the first position with 4 points, which is obviously good. And Wabon is going to hope that his boys prosecute the task today and push them up, uh, push them further up, with extra 3 points. But we saw a lot of games actually go down yesterday. Of course, other countries are also playing, and the games yesterday, were actually kind of cagey games because we didn't really see much goals in these games, except for the likes of Algeria that actually got a resounding victory of 5-0, sorry, 5-1 over Togo, and then we also had Burkina Faso getting uh, you know, some really energetic victory there, 4 goals to 1 against Burundi. But for our neighbor, our West African neighbor Ghana, actually uh, were held to a 0-0 draw, continuing a very, very disappointing and frustrating qualifiers round for the 2025 African Cup of Nations. And it looks really, really dicey for them, at this point because uh, they've not actually won any game. This is match day 3, and they've drawn 2 now and then lost 1. And the last time that they played a game at their home ground, the fans were really annoyed and upset. They had to rush into the stadium to destroy things. I think even had an encounter with the players on the pitch because of how frustrating it was. So the fans are obviously not really happy with the Ghana team right now. But it is what it is. The players are going to have to pick themselves up and find that inspiration somewhere. The coach is going to have to provide that for them to start getting the results. Of course, they have a return leg next 3 days against this same Sudan side. So hopefully that's a chance for them to try and see if they can get something from that one. But let's not dwell too much on the Ghana team or any other team. Let's head straight into Nigerian Super Eagles camp and the updates. So yesterday was a bit of mixture of training and then the pre-match conference before the game. So those are basically the things that were done yesterday. So about the pre-match conference, both teams, head coaches, had their periods with the journalists and said, things that things based on the questions that they were asked. And for EGUAVOEN, he said a number of things. Of course, it's just the normal thing that we usually hear him say, about how he believes in the players and how they should respect the opponents, but of course also be confident in themselves and believe that they can go out and get all 3 points. Talks about quality of the players, and interestingly, also talks about Victor Boniface and the belief that he has in this young man. He actually said that he believes that Boniface is going to get a goal if he decides to start him, in tomorrow's game. So he believes that Boniface is going to break the deadlock, open his Super Eagles goal scoring book tomorrow. So this is just a summary. It's a summary of what he said, and he might have given it away that he might actually start Boniface, tomorrow. So it's very likely that we might see Boniface. But of course, I mean, we are expecting that because Osimhen is not around. So Boniface seems to me right now like uh, the next option, the best option, at this moment. Awoni is still kind of struggling from injury, going back and forth, hasn't really been stable since then. So the right now that is in form, over the last couple of weeks with his club side is Boniface. So it makes all the meaning if he can start that one tomorrow. But aside from that, we also had Maduka Okoye, talk about his situation. Of course, the day this man has been informed with the Udinese throughout last season, helped them greatly prevent relegation, and then came into this season, the start of the season, he's been really great, excellent with them, playing crucial roles in helping the Udinese side, get get the results that they've been able to get this season. But it's not been the same for him in the national team, because obviously there's always one man there, Stanley Nwabali, who seems to be, between he and the first choice position, no matter his form. But Maduka Okoye has reacted about this, and the young man believes that, uh, you know, it's always been what he wanted. He always wanted the first choice position. That's like normal thing for any second choice goalkeeper. They would always want, to break into the first team. But here's what makes Maduka Okoye different, in his mentality. He is appreciative of, his role in the team. He talks well. He talks good about Stanley Nwabali, and the fact that he's been a really good goalkeeper who has actually set the standard high, in terms of goalkeeping duties for Nigerian Super Eagles. He talks about the AFCON and how he proved himself there, kind of cemented his position as the first choice, and that he is fully getting what he deserves, for what he has been able to do for the team. But Okoye also believes that his time is definitely going to come, and that he's working really hard in training, trying to show the manager that he's ever ready and reliable for when his chance comes. But that's what it's going to be, that he's sticking around and doing all the hard work in training, and hoping that his time comes along again. Of course, that one time he was the first choice goalkeeper, I think back in 2021, but some errors and some sort of lows that he met during that period kind of made him to go down the pecking order. At some point, he wasn't even getting some call-ups, but right now the man is back and has this great mentality, about the position. And for the Libyan team, of course, they've also been, doing really well. They've been training. Actually had their last training yesterday, and also, as I said, did their press conference. The coach did the press conference. So this Libyan side are obviously ready to go. They are fired up. They are ready to come into the pitch and give their 100%. But definitely, it's going to be a Herculean task for them to get this victory against Nigeria. The last time we played, it was a resounding victory for Nigeria, 4-0. For that game. But again, history is history, and what's the most important thing is what's going to happen now, and that is what these guys are sticking around for. And I forgot to mention that there was a bit of a situation when the Super Eagles, when Austin EGUAVOEN was handed his pre-match conference. The Libyan side were coincidentally having a training at a section of Gospel Pavio Stadium, and the conference room had something like a glass whereby you could see the stadium, on the pitch where these guys were training through the conference room. So the Libyan contingents didn't really like this scenario very much. They thought that Nigeria were actually spying on their training and their practice, to use against them. And for this reason, the press conference of Austin EGUAVOEN was actually postponed or shifted a little bit, so that the Libyan team would be through with their trainings before the conference is held. So that was what happened, and thankfully, it was shifted. And then after their training, EGUAVOEN had to speak to the media. So everything set, no foul play, nothing like that. Before they would go and say that Nigeria spied on them during their training, that was why they lost or something like that. But that's what's currently happening. Everything is intact. The whole players are accounted for. Everybody seems fit. So Coach Austin EGUAVOEN has a clean bill of health. All the players to pick from. So it's really very interesting. Hopefully, I might make a video later to talk about the predicted lineup for this game, the people that we might get to see, lineup for this game. But that's the video for now. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.